Hey, I'm Ashley Caprice, and you're now tuned in to Conversations with Caprice. I have Miss Elvira Guzman with me. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. And she's an author, PR as well, but she's the author of this brand new book, Your Blueprint, an interactive guide to remembering your true purpose in life. So what is your true purpose in life? Let's start there.
My true purpose is to help other people find their purpose in life.
Okay, well, that's good. And you help other people through your PR business and everything. And how is that working for you?
Yeah, well, professionally, how it works in business is somebody comes to me. Usually they're a celebrity or they're the CEO of their company, and they say, listen, I'm not where I want to be, and this is my dream. And I'm like, okay, well, let's figure it out. And I put together a strategic PR and branding plan, 12 to 20 pages, and I make their dream come true.
Awesome. And who has been some of your clients?
Steve Harvey, Roy Jones Jr., Terry Kennedy, Music Soul Child, 93.5 K-Day, tons of others, Lane Bryant, nephew Tommy, George Wallace.
Yeah, you're doing it.
Thank you. Thank you.
So tell me a little about this book. What made you write it?
Well, I was in the process of writing another book, and it was about 300 pages, and I just couldn't finish it. And this is actually my fifth book that I've helped write and edit. My first book that I helped do was Steve Harvey's book, Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man. And I helped in the writing process, the editing process, and I also did the entire PR campaign. After that, I did the other books with like Troy Byer, X-Free, a few others, Earth Angel. And then I said, you know what, I want to do a book, but I just couldn't finish it. So I said, you know what, I'm going to book a trip to the Dominican Republic by myself for 7 days, and that way I have to finish it. So I took my laptop, everything, and God had a different plan for me. I just felt a feeling in here, and God said, start on a blank piece of paper. And I said, you know, what are you talking about? Like, no, like I put in months of work in this other book, and I obeyed, and I started with a new document, and within that one day, I had more than half of the book, about 12 chapters. The next day, I finished it, and so now I had to reread it, and it awakened me, and it's helped me so much. So it's just almost like a gift that I'm giving to others that I feel was given to me.
Awesome. So you went to the Dominican Republic, so I need to take a trip somewhere so I can get some more ideas flowing and everything. But you wrote this book in 2 days?
Absolutely, yeah. And that's something that's never happened to me. Just to give you an example, to write Steve Harvey's book, that was a process of almost like 6 months. Other books that I've helped write, a process of a year. So for it to come through me within 2 days, I knew that it was magical.
Yeah, absolutely. So what is the main purpose of this book? What do you want people to take away from this book?
The main purpose of this book is so that people will do their blueprint board, so that way they can recall who they really are. A lot of times we forget who it is that God intended us to be on this planet, and we have adopted other people's assumptions of us, and we start to go that route. So what this does, it says, oh my gosh, I was really that person way back then, and you start to look back at your life and you say, wow, I took so many of the right steps already. Why have I been so negative to myself? Because I feel like a lot of people, not a lot, most people, we're our biggest, enemy, and before being able to advance, we're just like, no, don't do it, back down. That's why only 5% of the people make it, and really only 1% make it.
Yeah, a lot of people doubt themselves, and there's a way that you could turn any negative situation into a positive situation.
Correct. Like I was just telling, for my I just had my 30th birthday party, and thank you so much. So we were in the jacuzzi, and my brother-in-law, who's 12 years older than me, and he was like, I'm so proud of you. He was like, how is it that you've been able to succeed? And I told him, I'm going to tell you a secret that I learned a long time ago. Is I learned how to turn that anger into like, I have to do it, because no matter what, it's going to happen. And I said I learned that when I was in high school, and I used to get bullied, and it wasn't even high school, junior high, and my mom said, you better go out and do what you have to do, because if you come home and they beat you up, I'm going to beat you up. So my fear for my mom beating me up was greater than anybody or anything. So I knew if it has to happen, you have to make a plan. So then I, at that young age, I was like, okay, so I won't get jumped. I need to get her, one-on-one, this and that. So those life skills apply to business like no idea. So that's what's really been able to help me through.
Awesome. And you did have a rough past, I'd say, and you turned that around as well. Do you mind sharing a little bit about your past?
Oh, sure. When I was 14, my parents were incarcerated for selling drugs. I was at basketball practice, and nobody came to pick me up, and I had that feeling in my stomach like, okay, what's going on? Like, sometimes they're late, but they're never not. here. So we went inside, placed a phone call. They didn't answer. I kind of knew what was up, and my parents were taken away from me for the rest of my teens. I ended up going, I excelled. I had a 4.2 GPA because once again, that anger and that fear turned into like, I have to get it done no matter what. Just because my parents are gone doesn't mean that I have to fail. And it's so ironic, if you notice over there that Virgin Mary my dad did on the machine, it's 1998, which is a year that they had to turn themselves in, that everything happened. And if you notice right there, first semester 4.0 GPA, second semester 4.2 GPA after I got my AP courses. So for me, it was like, wow, I was really this person all along, and I was thinking I was weak. I was thinking I wasn't good enough. I was thinking I was tainted. But, that's what the blueprint does. It reminds you, wow, I was really a great person, and, my future is going to be that much better.
Right. And what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So it was a challenging time, but you got through it and you excelled anyway. So congratulations on all of your success.
Thank you so very much.
You're welcome. So with the blueprint, where can people purchase your book?
Yes, my book, I purposely did an ebook first because I want to help save trees. So it's available on elviraguzman.com, and it's only $9.99, and I'm making it no matter, once the book is available to purchase a paperback copy, it's still going to be $9.99 because my goal is not for revenue. My goal is to make sure that everybody reads it, and from the money that I get, the winnings, I am going to print books, and I'm going to go and give them to people who are homeless, who can't afford it, because I really just want to get the word out.
Awesome idea. And do you plan on writing any more books?
Yes, my next book is going to be called Loving on Purpose, and I'm going to start to write that as soon as I'm done with this one.
Look at you. You just don't stop. How do you keep that energy up? Seriously.
I'm Mexican.
Like, that's it.
That's it.
You have a huge hustler mentality, and that's really good. And you said, I saw one of your interviews, you went to New York, and that's how you got some of that mentality as well. Tell us a little about that.
Yeah, oh my gosh. So I'm like a Cali girl, and when Steve Harvey picked one person to move to New York to start the Steve Harvey Radio Network, which was his own company, he chose me, and I was the youngest by 10 years, and I was one of the only women in his company, and so I was like, oh my gosh. So I went, I ran his stocks, I ran his tie company, his clothing company, his shoe company. I did almost everything. And then during that year, I was like, okay, I really want to start, LVGPR. So that's how really, my company got started. Yeah.
Good. I love your work ethic. Just from this interview, I'm like, you're doing it.
New York, really made me a go-getter. When you're there, you see everybody else, they don't stop, they don't sleep, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm behind if I'm not working as hard as you. So when I ended up moving back to California, because of course rents are so expensive over there, so I wanted to start my company in California, I said, I wanted to bring the New York mentality to LA, and it worked. So as soon as I said, okay, I'm going to start LVGPR, and Steve Harvey said, I tried to leave his company. He was like, no, you're not leaving. He's like, I want to be your client. And I was like, okay, fine. And, you could be my client, great. And he was my first one before I knew it. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, because my prices were so, reasonable. And so, yeah, it worked out very well.
Good for you. So I have to go to the Dominican Republic and New York again.
Yes, absolutely.
So how can everyone follow you and keep up with the book and everything?
Well, you could follow me on Twitter. It's elvie_G_PR. And my Facebook is, if you just search Elvira Guzman, you'll find my Facebook page. And that's how you can keep up with me.
Sweet. It has been a pleasure talking to you, and I think I even learned some lessons from you through this conversation, so thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so very much.
No problem. Conversations with Caprice with Miss Elvira Guzman.